Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here. We have quite a few cards to cover. The closer we get to the expansion, the more and more cards that they're going to release each and every day, and we go from like having no cards to like a card dump of like 8 or 9, and then we'll have card dumps of like 10 plus, so I'll try to keep up. First one's being the new Rogue Legendary. 4 mana 3/4 stats aren't when you play this. Battle Cry, equip a 1/3 dagger, has +1 attack for each of the cards you play this turn. This is just good. Rogue is going to be able to play quite a few cards, whether you have coins or preps or 1s or 0 mana cards. Rogue can do it. And even if you get like a 3/3 dagger, like that's still 9 damage over the course of 3 turns, right? So while this isn't super competitively statted, like a 4 mana 3/4 isn't terrible. A 4 mana 4/4 would make this card probably just busted, but I think this is a really good card, and it's quite easy for rogues to be able to pop off. Granted that because it costs 4 mana, you're not getting like this huge early game weapon, but even coining this out on 3 and getting a 2/3 dagger and then going like deadly poison, then you have a 4/3 dagger on turn, what is that, like 4 or something, or 5 if you use coin or not. It seems pretty good. So this seems like a really good rogue legendary, and it equates to a lot of damage. Like if it was a 1/2 dagger, it'd be terrible, but a 1/3 3 turns, that's pretty juicy. We have a priest legendary here, Pelagos, a 3 mana 1/6. After you cast a spell on a friendly minion, set its attack and health to the higher of the 2. So the thing is, you don't even need to like buff a card in order for this guy's effect to be great, right? Like you could just heal a fully healed card, and as long as you like cast it on a minion, you instantly basically inner fire it, right? It's actually better than an inner fire, and it's like it's a 3 mana 1/6, so it's really hard to kill, and its stats don't necessarily matter when its effect is triggering, right? So this card seems really good. Like it just seems like a really good card. Like stats are good, its ability is insane, and the fact that like you don't need to like you just need to target the minion with the spell to get the benefit. And as we know, priests have a lot of very high health, low attack stuff, but that doesn't matter if this guy's on the board. So this seems like a really good priest legendary. Like Inner Fire Miracle Priest looking like it's coming back. Boon of the Ascendant, 4 mana, holy spell, give a minion +2 health, summons a Chiron with its stats and a taunt. And a Chiron is just like a token card. It's just a 1 mana 1/1 taunt, but obviously if you give, all right, so an example, you play the new 3 mana dude, where is he? You play this guy, you give him 2 health, he turns into an 8, his health turns into an 8, so it's a 3 mana 8/8. And then this is going to also be an 8/8. So on turn 4, you can have what, 2 8/8s? I mean, that seems a little ridiculous, right? Like that seems because I don't know which effect takes place first. This will summon the Chiron with the taunt with the stats, or like this guy gets its effect triggered. I'm pretty sure this effect triggers first, and then the Chiron comes out and copies the 8/8. So yeah, this is literally a 3 mana card into an 8/8. So that's pretty freaking sick. Priest got 2 really good cards here, and then like the Cathedral's even good too, right? We have a couple new ones here. Won't cover them too much because they're neutrals. We have the Soul. It's a 4 mana 4/5 battle cry. If you control a location, discover a copy of a card in your deck. This just seems like a good value, good control tool. Very well. 4 mana 4/5 is great stats. And it has Battle Cry, which means it works with any sort of Battle Cry synergy, and then making a copy of a card in your deck is just good, right? And you discover it, so it's a solid card. This is a really good card. We have the Devourer. This kind of like Lieutenant, but worse in my opinion, right? It's a 9 mana 4/4 Battle Cry, devour an enemy minion and get its stats, and infuse 5, you hit its neighbor. So like, I don't know, seems just like a worse Abominable Lieutenant. Costs 1 more mana, doesn't happen every turn. Granted, you get to target the minion, but I don't know, it just seems like not that great. We have the Huntsman, new Hunter Legendary. It's a 7 mana 5/4, so stats are not why you play this. Battle Cry, summon a companion, infuse 4, summon another, and then infuse 8, add another. So basically the companions are Misha, Huffer, and Leok. They just look different, and so this is what was it, like To My Side, or like the 9 mana, there's a 9 mana hunter card, it used to be 8 mana actually, that summoned all the companions. So now it's a minion that summons all the companions, but you basically need infuse for it. Right now there's not any sort of token hunter deck, but there are a lot of token hunter cards. You have like the rat card, which is 6 mana that fills your boards with 1/1s. You have like a minion with frenzy that summons 4 1/1s. You have the egg card, which summons 4 1/1s again. So there are a decent amount of hunter cards that split into little hunter cards, but like Death Rattle Token Hunter isn't a thing. But with a card like this for its late game, we've seen how good the Animal Companion card is, the one that summoned all of them. So that on top of a minion seems like it'd be pretty good. But I don't know if you actually build an entire deck around it. Plus, this card, again, needs to be in your hand. So, I don't know. Seems like an interesting Hunter legendary, but as of now, I don't think Hunter needs it. They can just, like, summon a 6-mana King Crush or a 4-mana, like, Hydrodon with their Harpoon Gun, right? Like, they don't need any of this to win. They can just do a million other things that are just better. We have the Stonebound Gorgon, 4-mana, 3/5 Beast, Rush, Infuse 3, also damages the minion next to whoever attacks is trash. That's all I'm gonna say. Giving a card cleave, like if it made it like charge and it like cleaves, I don't know. It just seems bad. Like I don't know why you'd ever play that card, but sure. It just seems like a terrible card. Solid Alibi actually came out a couple days ago, but we didn't cover it. It's a 2-mana Frost card. Until your next turn, your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. This is a Frost card, so you can weave it into like Quest Mage if that's still a thing. You can play it in Freeze Mage. You can play it in Control Mage. Not as good as obviously Ice Block, but if your opponent has some big minions out, right, you can just like take 1 from them. So it just buys you a ton of time. It's very inexpensive to weave into your deck. So Solid Alibi seems like a really good mage card, especially if they're going to be like randomly generating stuff. So like Runed Orb, and they pick it up and you're pushing lethal, and now your 7 minions do 7 damage, or your 3 big minions that would do 20 damage do 3 damage. Again, they do take a bit of damage, but if you have like Solid Alibi with Ice Barrier, then it's pretty sick, right? So seems like a good mage card. Again, not as good as Barrier, but still pretty solid. We covered the imps in our last video, and then a card that actually just got announced as I was basically making this video and glanced over at Twitter. That's going to be the Stone Right. 4-mana 5/4 stats are huge, and then Battle Cry for the rest of the game. Your totems have +2 attack. This is kind of crazy because Shaman already benefits a lot from Battle Cry. They've got Brand. You could do Zola. They have the Bird. So there's a lot of ways to make this effect trigger multiple times. However, which we've seen with Totem Shaman in the past, is they print Totem Shaman cards and then they literally don't print any more support for it. Like they had the Totem, like the Grand Eyesore, right? It gave your totems +1/+1 at the end of each turn. They printed that and then never printed any totem cards after him. That was the last totem support card they printed, and the card really, Totem Shaman was never really that great because again, it doesn't get enough support. But again, when they give decks too much support, it just like pigeonholes the class, makes the deck building very linear, and I don't think it's good. So we've seen kind of a push in the recent expansions of them just pushing archetypes until they're good. We've seen it with Libram Paladin, we're seeing it with Imp Warlock, we're seeing it with Curse Warlock, and now, you know, I don't know if this is going to continue, but we have the card that buffs the totems, and buffing totems and Totem Shaman isn't a new deck, just was never very a powerful one. I guess maybe back when like Thing Below was a card, there was like mid-range Totem Shaman, maybe, I guess. Not really too excited about this legendary. Seems really underwhelming, and any sort of like legendary that revolves around like the hero power and just like totems, like we can do better than this. It's 2022, and this is a pretty spicy set, and this is not a spicy card whatsoever. This seems like a wasted legendary opportunity for Shaman, but that's just my input. So with that, those are all the cards that are new up until now. We covered a lot. What are you guys thinking? The set was looking really good for a little bit. Now it's looking, the spices definitely calmed down a bit, but there's a lot of cards that still are out there and we don't know about yet. So there's still opportunities for the spice to increase again. With that, I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.